In the studio today with our new director. I was going to say new director, which she really is. She's only been here about 7 weeks. Donna Epps, and we are just so pleased that Donna is with us and is the director of Resident Life, and she has some things to share with us. Welcome, Donna.
Thank you very much for having me again, and thank you for the opportunity to be able to talk about some of the services that a lot of the residents continue to ask me about. Yeah. So part of Resident Life are the 3 ancillary services departments, and that is home health, certified home health, home support services, and hospice services. Okay. And we get lots of questions about, well, what's the difference between home health and home support? So,
that is so confusing to me, and I know it is for many residents in regards to it. And I look so forward to everybody finally changing those names so that it really is clear. Yeah. But what are they? What are the differences?
Well, certified home health provides skilled nursing and occupational therapy, physical therapy, and speech therapy services that are deemed medically necessary, and they're paid for by insurance. Okay. Medicare covers those services as long as they meet the Medicare guidelines for being medically necessary and are ordered by a physician. Okay. And so we do have on staff registered nurses and licensed therapists that do go to the resident's home. They can be in independent living, and we do provide those services even if they're in assisted living as well. Okay. So, but they do have to be ordered by a physician. Right. And we get many of our clients either from Garden Ridge or continuing care. Okay. We also...
So that is after they're discharged from Garden Ridge, or while they're in Garden Ridge?
After they're discharged from Garden Ridge for a short stay. Typically somebody has been in the hospital. They generally have had to have a 3-night qualifying stay in the hospital. Then they're discharged to Garden Ridge for more intensive rehabilitative or skilled nursing services, and then they're discharged home. So once they're discharged home to their apartment, and if their physicians and therapists in Garden Ridge feel that they need additional support at home, we'll get a referral for home health services that way.
And as soon as the 3 days, once the 3 days in the hospital, 3 midnights in the hospital have been done, then they can be discharged to Garden Ridge.
Yes.
And they stay in Garden Ridge for whatever period of time.
Right.
Okay, it is. And then prior to discharge, you get the referral, or you get it at discharge?
We get it before discharge, and actually we have interdisciplinary meetings and discussions and telephone calls, and we have several ways that we follow up with our patients, and that's how we get those patients. We can also take a patient who's been in the hospital and doesn't need to have that more intensive rehabilitation or skilled nursing stay, and they can be discharged directly back to their home with home health from the hospital. And that is no qualifying stay is needed for that. So they can be in the hospital overnight, 2 or 3 days, a week, or even in what's called an observation stay. And as long as the physician deems it medically necessary, then we can accept patients directly from the hospital.
Don't we have someone in the hospital that is there and that keeps us informed about people and makes the liaison, should I say, between the hospital and Green Spring, whether it's Garden Ridge or it's independent living? Yes,
we do, and that would be Brenda Jenkins. And she helps us to coordinate that information, make sure that we get the documentation needed for us to start services.
And so she would do that with somebody that's even in for observation?
Right. Prior to discharge from the hospital.
Do you know, or is the hospital being more receptive to letting us know what's going on, whether somebody is being held? Are they just admitted for observation? Or are they truly admitted? I mean, is that clearer now than it was there for a while?
I don't know how much clearer it is, but it really all depends on the medical condition of the patient, the bed availability in the hospital. Sometimes people go for an acute reason, and they just want to keep them overnight just to monitor them, and then they release them. I have known of people to be in an observation stay for a long period of time,
right, yes.
For 2 or 3 days even.
Because the concern is that people that are in for observation, and like if they stay for 2 or 3 days, in the past it was the fact they had ran into problems with Medicare and getting reimbursed.
Right, and that is if they need to go to a skilled nursing facility post-discharge for them to come home directly from the hospital.
Okay.
They don't need the 3-day stay to get home health services started if they are sent back to their home after the hospital stay without going through Garden Ridge.
So if they're truly physically ill, then they would spend 3 nights. Then they could go to Garden Ridge and they'd get reimbursed, Medicare to pick it up. If they're just observation, they don't need that. I mean, they're okay. They're not physically.
I can't always say that because I can't, judge how the doctors determine who is in the observation stay or not, because there have been all kinds of scenarios, and I won't go into all of those because, as you know, I'm also a licensed nursing home administrator, so I have struggled with those issues as an administrator.
Like the one ad says, we've seen that.
Yes, absolutely, but generally, if someone is going to go to a skilled nursing stay for skilled nursing or rehab after a hospital stay, in most cases they will need a 3-day, like you said, 3 midnights in the hospital. Right. But if the doctor deems that their condition can be cared for at home with home health services, then that's when they don't need that 3-day requirement. And we can take them from an observation stay, or if they were admitted into the hospital. Okay. And then we also take patients upon referral from their personal physician. Okay. So whether someone is seen by the medical center here or by a physician in the community, we can accept them as a patient in home health that way as well.
All right. With home health, they come in and the nurse goes in, right, and does the evaluation. Yes. And that's what, an hour and a half evaluation?
I think
it varies?
I think that it varies. Generally it's going to be about an hour, but it all depends upon the level of services that we're going to provide. Sometimes people, might need wound care, or they may need catheter care, or they may need medication management, but every new admission gets the same evaluation to determine the level and frequency of services that they're going to need and by whom, be it the nurse or one of the therapists. Okay.
And then there's home support. Yes. After you get through with home health, you go to home support? Or?
Well, people need home support for a variety of reasons. And just like in home health, home support has relationships with the other ancillary services department. We also coordinate and collaborate a lot with social services as well as those folks who are in any level within the continuing care at Garden Ridge. We have actually provided companion and certified aid support over in Garden Ridge as well, in the memory care unit, in assisted living as well as in the long-term care unit over there. We do get some referrals from home health. Many clients call and ask for services, and we do provide nursing care through registered nurses, but we also have home aides, which are certified nursing assistants, CNAs, and we also have companion aides. And the big difference between those two is that a certified nursing assistant can provide hands-on care, whereas a companion cannot. So companions can provide escort services. They can do the light meal preparation. They can do, small housekeeping tasks, but they cannot actually physically provide services. They don't help with bathing and dressing and anything that requires hands-on care with the patient, and that's the distinction between a companion and a home health aide.
Is there someone in that department, in your department, that assesses that and really determines which one they need, as opposed to relying on a family member or a resident to say, this is what they want?
Yes, at the start of care, just like in home health, a nurse goes out and does an assessment. And I also want to stress that for home support services, that initial assessment that is provided by a nurse is at no charge to the patient.
Oh, okay.
And that is totally free. And that's whether we get the referral internally from social services or from another ancillary care services, or if the resident or a family member calls and says, I think I want services, because then we can determine exactly what we recommend that the patient may need. Okay. And we can take it from there.
Okay. We have a minute left.
Okay.
And just a question in regards to that. Charges are, the amount of charges that for the different individuals?
Right. I did not bring my rate sheet with me, but I do want to take this time to point out that in January, home support did go through a different, charge category restructuring, so we have fewer rates levels than we had before, and people can reserve times in hour increments from 1 hour up to 24 hours, and the more hours you need, the less the charge is. But if people would call the home support services number, they can get the charges associated with the level of services.
And the home support number
that they need. The home support number, I don't think I have that with me. I am so sorry.
It's in the resident directory.
It is.
And if they can't use that, all they need to do is call the front desk at
Absolutely.
604-4600.
Absolutely.
And be able to get through that.
Yes.
Ask them to transfer the call. Right?
That will get you right to the right manager or scheduler or intake person.
Or to go down on the elevators from Forest View, right?
Yes.
And go all the way to, was it Terrace?
We are on the terrace level, and we are next to intermissions.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. Well, Donna, thank you so much. And we're going to take an intermission here.
Okay.
And we just are very, very pleased to have you with us, and hope you come back very soon. Okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.